Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth. And today we're going to look at a puzzle called Gold Diamonds. And you've got a picture there of Sleuth, looking as handsome as ever, I may add as well, with phenomenal looking hair and eyebrows. Well done, Sleuth. Fantastic. Staring down what looks like a ton of gold diamonds. Now, really, gold diamonds to me reads like yellow sapphire. But some of them are just sparkling a little bit too much to be just plain sapphire. I will go with yellow diamonds. That works as well. Now, just a quick confession. I did go into this weekend saying we're going to take a look at more difficult puzzles than normal. But with the live in a few hours, I am obviously feeling a little bit of trepidation, a bit of fear. I've certainly selected more approachable puzzles. I'm going to remain clear-minded here, have an easy puzzle to ease into yet another easy puzzle when solving it live. So it's not a case of just Sleuth staring at a screen with tons of messages in the chat, basically saying, Sleuth, just pay attention to this cell, that cell, that cell. What on earth are you doing? So I hope you're looking forward to it, and I hope we're all going to have fun together. Well, enough of an introduction. Let's take a look at this morning's puzzle. So we are Gold Diamonds by Dr. Logic. And you can definitely see a whole bunch of gold diamonds throughout the puzzle with, I guess, almost like cut lines to make them sort of sparkle in green and purple in the middle. For whatever reason, this diamond doesn't deserve the green line. But otherwise, yeah, very much sticking to the title. So let's take a look at the rule set. I mean, you're looking at this, and if you're familiar with this channel, I'm sure you recognize the green lines as German whispers, the purple lines as Renban lines, but gold lines we've only really ever featured once before. And I really wanted to come back to it and just showcase how incredible this set of rules can actually work together. So, rules now. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means the digits 1 to 9 in every row. If I can draw and show what a row looks like, in this row, for example, row 1, or in columns 1 to 9, or in boxes 1 to 9. German whispers, which is the green line, and many of you are going to be familiar, but first-time viewers, this would be adjacent digits must differ by at least 5. And most of these are really only 3 cells long, except for this one. So let's imagine, for example, this digit is a 2. The next cell on that line, which is this cell, must be 5 or more apart. So that would be, for example, 7, 8, or 9. Let's say it was a 7. The next cell along must be 5 or more away. So that could only be 1 or 2. And we've already used the 2 in the box, that's a 1. But what you end up with on German whispers lines is essentially you're oscillating between low digits, high digits, and low digits. Low being 1, 2, 3, or 4, high digits being 6, 7, 8, or 9. And no prizes for figuring out why having a 5 on a German whispers line is complete nonsense. At least under normal Sudoku rules. So, next we have Renban, which is a purple line, forms a set of consecutive digits in any order. And they're all 3 cells long. So let's imagine, for example, that this cell is a 1. What it's saying is these 2 digits, along with this one, have to all be contiguous in some shape or form. So given we have a 1 on here, this can only be 1, 2, or 3 in some order. It doesn't have to be in a specific order. This could be 2 or 3, and that would be totally fine, or the other way around as well would be totally fine. Where I guess some of the difficulties may emerge, let's pick 5 for example. This could be a 5, 6, 7 run, but equally it could be a 5, 4, 3 run. So that's how Renban lines work. Now, Nabner, which is Renban written backwards, is essentially the total opposite of what I just described. So no digits along a Nabner line can be consecutive. So in the example that's given here, 135 is allowed, but 192 is not because 1 and 2 are consecutive. So I'm going to use this 3-cell Nabner line here. So if that's, for example, a 4, This can obviously be anything other than 3 and 5. So let's say it's a 2. Now, because we've got 2 and 4 already on here, 1 wouldn't work, 3 wouldn't. Actually, let's make this harder. 8. Essentially, I've now removed all of the following digits from this cell. Can't be 3 because that's consecutive with 4. Can't be 4, it's repeating. Can't be 5. Can't be 7. Can't be 8. Can't be 9. And the only digits that are now allowed on here are 1, 2, or 6. So, incredibly powerful set of rules. And then lastly we have, say lastly, no, that's not lastly, that's incorrect. We also have crop key dots, white and black, and it starts with the black. So we have essentially a set of dots. Cells separated by a black dot must be in a ratio of 1 to 2. So there's only one of those. So essentially this must be, if that's a 2, for example, this could be a 1, or it could be a 4. It has to be in a 1 to 2 ratio. A white coppery dot have to be consecutive. So let's go with the 5 example that we used earlier. This would have to be 4 or 6. Think of them almost like a mini Renban line. And then lastly, we have V cells separated by a V summed to 5. We only have one of those. So whatever these cells are, if this is one of them is a 1, this would have to be a 4 to add up to 5. If that's a 2, this would have to be a 3 to add up to 5. Now, we're told by Dr. Logic that there are no negative constraints whatsoever. So these could be V's, this could be a white crop key dot, this could be a black crop key dot. In fact, these 3 could end up being a Nabner line of their own. We don't know, and we don't care. Well, that's plenty of rules, which is helpful because we've got 0 digits in the grid to help us get started. If you want to play along, if you want to stare very closely at a whole bunch of gold diamonds and try and figure out what's going on, link will be in the description down below as usual if you want to play. And with that said, let me restart the clock and see how I get along. So I'm sort of tempted, when you look at this puzzle, there are 3 places that tempt me to start. And I'm looking essentially these diamonds, which have plenty of clues on them. But I also like this one a bit more. And the reason I'm picking these ahead of others is, they've got one additional clue. There's a black crop key dot here. There's a V here. These don't have them. So clearly these are going to be the easier ones to get cracking with. And then obviously this very twisted setup here. I may color it and move on from that. So what I'm going to do, because I don't actually know what's low and high, all I know is the polarity of each of these cells is the same. So if this is 1, 2, 3, or 4, this would be high, 6, 7, 8, or 9, but we're back to low 1, 2, 3, or 4. So we've got 3 of those, 2 of these. We've also got 1 of each in here because we've got another German whisper line. So essentially no more purples because they're used up between these cells. And we're left with orange or 5 in these cells. I think we can probably break into the puzzle from here, but I suspect this is probably the easier start. Yeah, especially with a Renban line through the middle. So let's think about this V for a second. This is 1, 2, 3, or 4 to get to 5. This cannot be a 4 because then you'd be forced to put 2 9s on either side of it on this German whisper line. That's the only digit that's 5 or more away from a 4, and that clearly breaks the rules. So if that's not a 4, that's a 1. Now the other thing is they are on a Renban line. So whichever digit is in here has to be essentially in the middle of these 2, because they need to be separated by a digit. Yeah, that makes sense. They need to be separated by a digit. Otherwise, they are breaking the Nabner rule set. So this is clearly not a 1. This is clearly not a 4. This is now 2 or 3. And I assume this could be 1 or 4. And that's a low digit, that's a high digit. You'll see me use that on German Whispers line constantly. You know, blue being almost like cold on a thermometer, a small digit. Red being hot on a thermometer, a high digit. So that's also blue. These are also high. These are from 7, 8, or 9. And I'm going to say they cannot be 8 and 9 because they would break the Nabner rule. So no 8, otherwise they'd be joined. And therefore this has to be a 2, it cannot be the 3. This has to be the 3. 2 because 7 next to a 3 wouldn't work on a German Whispers line. And we've got to start. The 3 on the Nabner line tells us this is not a 4, this is the 1. And therefore this could be basically anything. Is that enough to break into the middle? Surely it is. So 6, 7, 8, or 9 are all fine in here. I guess more importantly, what this means, well, that's not necessarily true. Where I was going with this is that 4 is probably on one of these cells. That's not true. This could be 4, 5, and this could be 6, and that would be fine. What I do know, though, is 6 is not on any of these because the 1 is not available. Am I going to work through this? I think I am. I'm just debating whether looking at this, I think this is going to be the easier break-in again, but I really want to figure out what the colors are in there. So let's think this through. If this is low digits, the purple, these would be 2, 3, and 4. But more importantly, that wouldn't be a 4. And this would have to be a 5. Because you've got essentially this Renban line. This has to be adjacent to it. I'm sure this is actually how to break into this. Let's work through this again. So these are either this cell can never be orange. That was silly to say to begin with. Yeah. Because it has to be consecutive with these digits. And because these are of one polarity, you can't get to orange without going through 5. And because neither of these is 5, this is essentially purple or 5. Now, purple is one of these. You know, purple is either blue or red, and we've already used the 4th one in here, so that can't be another purple, that's a 5. And therefore that's an orange cell, whatever that may be. Now, let's continue with this. So this is either 3, 4, with a 2 in the middle. I mean, plausible, it could also be 8 and 9 in here. Or 6 and 7 in these 2 cells, which is not plausible because the 1 is not available. So if I had 6 in here, for example, this cell would need to be a 1, breaking the puzzle immediately. So purple is low, orange is high, and this is 3, 4, 3, 4 to be consecutive with a 5. That's a 2. This is 8, 9, 8, 9 again, to be 5 or more away from the 3 and the 4. This is clearly not 8 or 9. This is also 6 or 7. Excellent. Let's think about this one next. 5, I guess, may as well put this down. This is either 4 or 6. This is 1 or 9. If it's 4, this is 9. If it's 6, this is 1. Can't be a 1 because it's in the column. That's a 9. That's a 4. That's a low digit. That's a high digit. I don't know if it's really useful coloring them on a single, in a 2-cell German whisper, but that tells us this is an 8, this is a 3, this is the 9, this is the 4. take a look at this one next. Sort of put it off long enough. So let's think about these cells in a 1:2 ratio. We've got essentially 1, 2, 4, and 8, or 3 or 6. Now, I think it can only be from 1, 2, and 4. Because we've got this 3-cell Renban line. 3, 6 would have to have 4 and 5 between them, which we don't have. It's not that one. 4 and 8 need 5, 6, and 7, so clearly 8 is not an option. This is 1, 2, or 4, and definitely a 2 as a result to be able to join it. Now, we also know, same thing that we've done in here, is that this cell has to be in the middle between these two. And we said that because if there isn't something in the middle on this Renban line, we break the Nabner line that they're on. So this cannot be 1, otherwise this would be a 0. And this cannot be can it not be a 4? Yes, if it is a 4 and this is a 2, this can't be a 3. Because it'll be adjacent to either the 2 or a 4 here. So this cannot be a 4 either. This is the 2. And if it's 1, 2, this is a 3. If this is 2, 4, I guess 2, 4. 2, 4. Excuse me, let me think this through. If this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3, this has to be in the middle. We've already established that. So if this is 4, it doesn't work. What's in the middle between them? 3? Yeah, 2, 3, 4. No, the 3 would be adjacent to the 4. So yeah, this can only be 1 and 3. Don't know why it took me so long to spot that. Let's lose these. Same thing actually as in here. It's got to be 7 and 9. Can't have an 8 because it would be adjacent to either the 7 or the 9, and 6 is too low. So these things are actually incredibly powerful, highly restrictive. We've got a 6-7 pair staring at this 7-9. That's a 9, that's a 7. What more can we do? We've got a 1 down here. We've got a 9 up there. 4 is there. So the 1 can't be, again, we've done this before. If that's a 1, this would have to be 2 and 3. 2 and 3 would be adjacent no matter what you do on this Nabner line. So this can't be the 1. That is the 1. And then the question we have, let me actually think this one through, is on this German whispers line. Oh, we already know it. We've already placed 3 low digits. Therefore, this is in the middle, it's a 3. This is 8 and 9. Because, you know, they're the only 2 cells that can be adjacent, can be next to a 3 on a German whispers line. These have to be consecutive. 1 is not available, so 4 is definitely on this line, which can only be in here. And then this is either a 2 or a 5. Both seem valid for now. This is the other 6-7 that we've got in here. We don't know what these are yet. Let's think what these are. And again, we've got to just keep in mind this cell has to be in the middle of whatever these 2 are. So if it's 6, it is 5-7. Seems totally fine. If it's 7, it's 6-8. If it's 7, it's 8 and 6, which is fine. If it's 6, it is 5 and 7. That's kind of the possibilities at the moment. What do we know? What else do we know? Haven't placed a 3. Haven't placed a 2. And whatever this cell is, so 6 and 7 are definitely gone. It's 5, so we've got 3, 2, and a 5 or 8. So this is 2 or 5. We definitely have a 3 in here. And it's either 2 or 3 or a 5 or 8. It's quite messy. I guess that could be the other 6, 7. Have I missed anything in this plethora of digits? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9. We don't know what this is. I do need a 6, a 7, and another 2, 5. And I don't know what that 2, 5 is. Can it be here? If this is 2, 5, I'd have a 3 and a 5, 8. 3 with a 5, 8. No 5, 8 because we've got double 2, 5. We've got 3, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, that's all plausible. Feeling a bit stuck at the moment. Bit of Sudoku maybe. What do we need in here? We need 4, 8, 8, not 9, and 5. I'm blind. There was never a 5 on here. Goodness me. Because we've got a 4 already. So no 5s. And if I put a 7 on here, I've broken it because I've got 8s and 6s left on the Nabner line. So I should have always been paying along. This is paying attention. This is the 7. This is the 8. This is the 6. And then we're left with 2, 3, and 5. No 8s in here. Whatever this 2, 5 is, can only be here now. These two are the same. I can't have the second 2, 5 up here, because then I would break the puzzle. I'd have 3 digits in 4 cells. This is the other 6, 7, which I actually know what it is now. That's the 6, that's the 7, that's the 6. And what I'm left with, and then look at the 7, this is now can't be an 8, it's on a Nabner, that's a 9, that's an 8. Right, it's all coming together now. Yeah, that's still 2 or 5. What do we have that's left that we need to complete the box? We have a second 2, 5 and a 7, which can only be in here. This is the other 2, 5. This 2 tells us what it is. It's a 5, it's a 2. That's a 2. No 2s in here. That's a 3, 5 pair. Really got to pay attention to these Nabner lines. They're hugely telling. So we've got 3 low digits all looking at this cell. If these 2 were low, this would be 4. This would be 9, which we've established can't be in this weird pattern that we've got. This has to be in the center between these 2. So I can't have a 4 in here to make that a 9. Therefore, this has to be high, low, high. This cannot be a 3, can't be a 4, because it would require a double 9. This is 1 or 2, can't be a 1, because it can't be It's got to be in the middle between these two digits. This is a 2. This is 1, 3 again. These are 7, 9 again. I'm almost wondering at this point if the only way to complete this pattern, are they always 1, 2, 3, 7, 9? It's almost like that. I mean, I imagine the inverse of this is possible as well. This could be 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, you've got 6, 7, 8, but actually because we don't have the German whisper line in the middle. Yeah. I'll take a look at this in a second and see if this could be anything else. I'm actually thinking it can't be. Like I said, it could obviously be 7, 8, 9 with an 8 in the middle. And then a 1 and 3 presumably on the end, and that will be fine. But maybe that's the reality of these shapes. Have I got anything staring at anything that can resolve anything? Yeah, we've got a 7 and 9. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm curious enough to take a look at this now. So, 3 is not available. And we've got that same challenge, I imagine. Yes. The only options if these were blue on the outside is these would be from 1, 2, and 4. But more importantly, it can't be both 1 and 2 because that's on the Nabner line and it breaks it. So one of them would have to be a 4, putting 9 in the middle and then breaking the Renban line and the Nabner. Lovely. So it took me a while to spot this. This has to be low again. These two have to be high. This is therefore can't be 4. Double 9 in a column. Can't be 1 because it has to be in the middle. Has to be 2 again. These have to be 1, 3 again. And I guess we've got essentially roping. 1, 2, 3. That's got to be a 3 as well. And therefore this is 5, 4, 9 in here. Except we know that this is 7 and 9. And we've got a 7 looking at it. That's a 9. This is 4, 5. And this is 6, 7, and 8. Except that's a 7. And therefore that's not a 7. When I say roping, so essentially, and I think this is always true, I'll probably do this separately or a tutorial or something. Once you've got one set of cells that are roping, yeah, the rest of it always has to. And I think once I had these as 1, 2, 3, this had to be 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of wondering if there is more of it around that I should be paying attention to. Kind of looks almost like it could. If that's a 4, it very much will be. We'll come back to this. Now, I don't know how I missed it earlier, but I certainly did. Have we got anything to disambiguate? No, we don't. These have to be from 6 and 8. Nothing to disambiguate. These have to be 4 and 5. Nothing to disambiguate. At least that can't be a 7, and therefore this is the 7. That helps, and I think we've done... I was going to say we've done all the 7s. That's the last one just here. Otherwise, we have done all the 7s. So, let's think about this. Have we got more of this magical behavior elsewhere? If this is a 4, we definitely do. How can I confirm that this is a 4 or not? Not really. Not sure how else I'm going to see this. Okay. The only clue we've got really left from where we are is this Nabner line, this Nabner line. May have to start thinking about Doing a bit of Sudoku. Imagine that. Let's see, we've got 4, 6, and 8, it seems, that are still available. Didn't mean to do that. 4, 6, and 8. Nothing that I can remove. This is 4, 5, and 8. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3 is not up here. This is 2, 3. That does break. So given this is a 2, 3, 7, and we don't have a 7 as a possibility in here, that is different. So that's that. We've got something in here. We've got 1 and 6 for sure in here. And nothing to help us disambiguate again. And then 1 or 4, 5, or 8. It's not 4, it's 1, 6, 5, or 8. With definitely 1 and 6. I feel like I've over pencil marked today and I've made my life a lot harder than I should have. This is 5 or 8. This needs a 4 in here, meaning this is not a 4, which means this is a 4 in here for sure. Therefore, this cannot be, I was just about making a bad assumption because I thought this was the 4, this wouldn't be a 5. But if this is a 4, this would be 2. Almost, almost. There's a lot of almost in here. It's a puzzle that's fighting every step of the way. Sorry, I just spotted that I was sitting on some Sudoku that would have helped. Therefore, this is not a 4. This is the 4. This is 5 or 8. There's a 9 up here. Therefore, it's a 9-8 pair. Just, these two 9s. This is not a 9 because of this 9. Needed on the white crop key dot. This 8 told us the order. That's a 9-8 setup. That's not an 8. There's a lot of not 8s actually suddenly. And this 4 is actually taking a look at this. This is a 6. This is a 5. This is a 4. This can only now be a 1. None of these are 1s. This is 5, 6, or 8. We've got a kind of very strange setup in here. We can only have one of the 5s or 6s, so we definitely have an 8 on the Nabner line. That's not an 8. We've got a 5, 6, 8 triplet. We need 1 and 4 to finish this line. 1 and 4. This is a 5. That's not a 5. I think we're going to need something in here to help us resolve this. No 6s in here. 4, 8 pair. We got the following 1 and 4. And something else. 6. Yep, 6. To complete this row, and then we'll guess the box. This is going a lot slower than I was expecting. Maybe I'm just not at my best today. How about, yeah, here's a 9. Therefore that's a 4. That's an 8. This 4 gives me this 5, gives me this 8, this 5, this 6, this 8, 6, 8, 4 in here. No 4 there, no 4 there. That's the 4. 1, 6. I've got an 8. I've got a, yeah, that's a 6, 1, 6, 3, 1, 8, 5. Yeah, all coming together now. We need 6 and 5. 5 and 6. We need a 1, a 2, and if I've not made any mistakes, a 3, and we're done for today. Beautiful puzzle. Absolutely stunning puzzle. I'm very curious now if these can be anything other than this sort of shape. very curious. Let me just, you know, hold your horses for a moment. Let me just clear all of this. 5, no, can't be a 5 in the middle. Can't be a 4, because it's double 9. Can't be a 5 because there's German whispers. 4 means it can't be 2 9s. Kind of regretting restarting. I could have probably kind of thought my way through this. So let's just remove all of these again. So it cannot be a 5, is essentially what we're saying, because it's on a German whispers line. Can't be a 4 because it would require a double 9. A 3 would put 8 and 9, which are consecutive, on here. And a 2 is possible, but a 1 is not, because it would put 2 and 3, which would be consecutive on there. So yeah, it is entirely forced. Like I said, you could have the inverse. This could be an 8, this could be a 9, this could be a 7, this could be a 3, this could be a 1, and that would be totally fine. But there's literally only 2 ways of solving these constructions. Phenomenal puzzle. Dr. Logic, as always, really enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. And if you're tuning in already, hopefully I'll see some of you in for the live later. Bye for now.